G'day. This is a new part of Atley's show. If you haven't joined us before, the show's not for kids. And this part of the show is called 7-Minute True Stories with Atley. That's where I've got 7 minutes. I'll share a true story with you guys. This is more of an uncut, unedited version of stuff. And it's unedited because I can't use editing software. Right, whatever. So, let's get into this story. Nice little cup of coffee. Let's get started. The title of it is called Not Bogan Enough. And this is a story that happened a few years ago. And I like to think I'm pretty bogan, right? I used to have a V8 Commodore. I used to like burnouts. Still like burnouts. All that. Love a Barbie. Knockabout and thongs, whatever. Got the Southern Cross tattoo. Right. Got Australia printed on my fucking forearm, right? But I got invited out onto someone's farmland a few years ago, and we had a car that was broken. We were trying to sell it for like $1,000. It was a Calais Commodore. It's like the luxury Commodore. It was worth $1,000. It was still registered, but a friend of ours said, "I'll give you $200 and I'm going to thrash it at the farm." And I thought, oh, $200, you know, it's worth more than that. It's not enough money, but we were struggling, so we took the $200 and we went out to this town in the wheat belt. It was about 200 k's southeast of Perth. It was near a place called Wandering, and it's a wheat belt country town. We drove out there and it was loose. A lot of bogan guys. They had their own burnout pad, and I sort of fitted in, and I was acting more bogan than what I am. And you know, they were drinking Bundy and they had dirt bikes and they're jumping over caravans, and I was well out of my depth. But I played along, and anyway, so we took that car there and we got $200 for it. It was still registered, but we rattle canned it. We used spray paint cans and just painted like letters on there and just painted things and virtually wrecked the car. And then this guy goes, "Oh, Trevor's going to take you out for a bog lap around the paddock." And apparently this guy has been doing this for a long time with many different cars, and they had a Commodore, and it was like a good one, and it was exciting, and they're like, "Oh, we normally get old Ford Falcons and they fucking don't last." And I can see why they don't last, because of what they were doing with them. But they're like, "Yeah, we're taking it out," and it was starting to get dark, right? And they're like, "Trevor knows the track. He's been doing it since he was born, I'd imagine, using it like Barbagallo Raceway." But he knew every inch of the track, and I didn't know that. Anyway, so I hop in the back of this car, and he starts going at like 100 odd k's on gravel, just sideways everywhere, just a lot. It was big, and there were holes in the road, so we're going sideways, and it was bouncing, and the tyres weren't pumped up, and it's bouncing and tipping. It's trying to tip because we're going so fast. And I'll give him credit, he held it, and he was like looking back to see if we were scared, and I was just sort of sitting there, and I'm like, "Yeah, boy," and I'm thinking, fuck me, this is getting bad. It's getting bad. And on the straight, we're getting up to like 180 kilometers an hour on gravel in a paddock, and there's holes in the road, and we're missing trees by like that much, by inches. and we go over bumps, and he just go like that. Sideways bumping, and I'm sitting in the back with my seatbelt on, and I'm thinking, I love my mum, I've said goodbye to the dog, let's just up the road. Very scary, right? And we get back and he skids it in, and they must have seen the look of horror on my face, and they just started laughing, like throwing Bundy cans around, and I was like, yeah, old Trev, you know, what a rascal. I was thinking, fuck me, like, that was big, and that wasn't even the biggest part, the most dangerous part. So we did that, we nearly died and rolled the car, but we came back, had some sausages, and then the younger fellas, they're like professional dirt bike riders, and they're like jumping over caravans, literally, we're sitting at a fire, and they're jumping over our heads, and like fucking flipping, and bloody, just tearing up, right? And some of them, there's like other old cars there that they just thrash around in the paddock with, right? And they take one out, it's like a Daihatsu Charade or something, right? And they flip it in the paddock, in this other paddock, to the other side, and it catches fire. And the whole thing's dry, and word gets around, and like, oh, bloody Brendan's flipped a fucking Charade up in the top paddock. And you could see the fire from where we are. And that's where the gate was to get out of the property, right? And this thing's just fucking burning, mate. And someone's like, get the fire engine. So they had their own fire engine at the farm. And they go to start this it was like an old Nissan Navara with a tank on the back. It wouldn't start. And they thought it was funny. Like, fucking fire engine's fucked. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's stuffed? It's like, some guy, Gavin, he goes, oh, the fire engine's stuffed. He's just running off drinking Bundy. It's like, what did Gavin say? What did he mean? Is it broken? What are we going to do now? My life flashed before my eyes, and I thought, I'm going to die in a fucking caravan, in this paddock and wandering, and no one even knows where I am. All because I wanted to see this car get thrashed. Anyway. We made it home, and we're over 7 minutes, we're up to 8 minutes, but that's the first of a long series of stories that we've got coming up in Atley, 7 minute true stories. Stick around, we'll see you soon. Cheers.